I'm Wild Bill, Chief Correspondent for RedBeard Pirate Radio, and don't you just hate Crusaders? Because I sure do. And here I am being one. I hate myself. So anyway, the pendulum swings back from today's New York Times. Breaking news. Quote, New York City will hospitalize more mentally ill people involuntarily in a push to remove them from streets and subways, Mayor Eric Adams said. This is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022 at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mr. Adams directed city agencies, including the police department, to take people who appear mentally ill and likely to harm others to hospitals for psychiatric care. End quote. And now for a Wild Bill editorial. All views my own. No one pays me to say anything. If I'm wrong, at least I'm not lying to you, because I believe this. If I'm right, well, that just makes me better than 100% of television programming, because they're always lying to you. This is all commercial product. To wit, states and city governments let all the trouble out when they closed private and state-run sanitaria. They did it for all the right reasons: reduce system-wide sexual abuse and system-wide abuse of inmates as test subjects for the major drug companies, which earned them major kickbacks. Kids, drug companies are bad, okay? And save budget money. So now there's a spike in homelessness. Duh. Problem is, every responsible agency sees them as the homeless, not as troubled individuals who aren't as lucky as you or me, who deserve all the rights of citizenship, including help from above. Sadly, in our society, if you can't profit a super rich person by working like a dog, you're dog meat. I rail against that declension, having experienced pathos in and out of a national society whose safety net for those who that society has no use for is slim and under constant attack by elitist swine in tune with the demands of ownership. Everyone must work, or the owners won't be happy, which is a lie, because folks at the top are overstressed jerks lacking time to understand the crucial relevance of human qualities like love, trust, and good faith. In other words, they can't be happy. It's emotionally impossible for someone under that level of stress to be happy, unless they've learned the big secret. Mind your own business. Don't mess with mine. One thing it's not the homeless person's fault. Now a city is returning to the keep them separate and the problem goes away philosophy that characterized organized reaction to homelessness and aberrant behavior between 1600 AD and the first half of the last century. Other cities are watching keenly, waiting to see if New York City can carry it off. Why take class action now when the problem has never left us before? Why the sudden increase in hospitality and interest and concern and focus? Geez, what is suddenly motivating these guys to reincarcerate the homeless? Fear. The fear of having the finger of justice point squarely at you because you, the whole system, let this go on as long as it was profitable to do so, you scum. Let other humans suffer because you're not a very nice person. No one rises to the top of society by being a nice guy. The owners force that upon us. So let's forget about being nice, right? Like television teaches, like ownership teaches. Until it's you, and it might well be someday. Then you start crying loud and often. That's called double standards, and those who carry them are among the worst ever. Quote, it's okay for you to suffer, but not I. I'm special, end quote. That attitude leads to atrocity almost every time. And it leads to the aforementioned finger of justice swinging your way. I'd take a good hard look at the drug companies. They used the troubled, those without official advocacy, as test subjects before, without legal implications. If that's who's urging a reevaluation of the mechanism of dealing with homelessness, the opioid scandal is going to seem like small potatoes pretty soon. After all, if no one stops you, you bully, what's the reason to stop? And the drug companies can't be stopped because they are backed by the biggest name in business, the tail that wags our government dog. Anyone who believes in freedom, I sure do, might reconsider the threat those drug giants pose to a just and kindly society. No one stopped them, except from using seniors as test dummies, which they were. So what's their reason to stop? They just need to find another vulnerable group without effective advocacy and fire away. And who is the shadow organization above the drug companies? The one that sets policy the other owners must follow or be destroyed? Who else? Dow Chemical. Just saying. All thoughts my own. I can't blame this on anyone else. You know, look into the meaning of implied consent. The disenfranchised and those without a canny advocate are playthings for Dow Chemical. Don't believe me? Look into the Kent State Massacre. Dow Chemical all the fucking way. And no one made them stop, the bullies. So why should they? Wild Bill.